All right. Thank you once again. You're all welcome. This is Chaplain Dr. James Mercy or Batumibi, if you can hear me all over the world. Good evening from Nigeria. Good evening from India, United States, United Kingdom, Pakistan, all over the world. We greet you all and we welcome you to this program. It is a wonderful one. And this program is a 3-day program for Martin Luther King Jr. public lecture and book launch conference hosted by World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. And I am the Chief Executive Officer of World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. And today we are having various important personalities in our midst joining us for this program to commemorate the great one, Martin Luther King. So it's a pleasure to have you all on board. And our special guests, we are going to identify them one after the other. We are going to commence this conference and this 3-day program by singing the United States National Anthem, while we have a very wonderful song from Dr. Yewande Okunoro Oyekeno. And I think she's already on attention. If you can see her, you see her on attention already. So she's ready for this. And we are going to take that right away before we go straight into other program for today. So thank you so much for joining us all over the world. If you are watching us or wherever you are in the world, this is a unique occasion where you must be, a program where you must partake. So it is time to take the national anthem for United States of America. Sorry, we have to take it from here in Nigeria while we listen to the US anthem. It's okay. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Let's clap, let's clap, let's clap, let's clap. That's lovely. That's lovely. Yeah, we can see Dr. Yekeno Yewande from United Kingdom. You can see the United States tie and the muffler showing the loyalty to the United States of America. So thank you so much for this wonderful program and a wonderful outfit. We really appreciate you. And we want to give you time now to go on this song of honor to Martin Luther King from Oye Keno, that is Yewande. Thank you so much. We can hear you, please.
Thank you very much, sir.
Unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now, sir? Can you hear me, sir?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, can you hear me, sir? Okay. Ave Maria, O Maiden, O Mother, proudly the children who call upon thee. Ave Santissima, Ave Purissima, pray for the children who call upon me. Ave Santissima, Ave Purissima, sinless and beautiful star of the sea. Ave Maria, O Maiden, O Mother, proudly the children who call upon thee. Ave Santissima, Ave Purissima, sinless and beautiful star of the sea. Mater amabilis ora pro nobis, pray for the children who call upon thee. Ave Santissima, Ave Purissima, sinless and beautiful star of the sea. Kimakusajo, ebi buvide, leo kimakusajo, ayeloja, arunile mumide, leo, I shall not die. I shall not die on Vietnam soil. Take me to New York. I shall not die. I shall not die. I shall not die. I shall not die. Oh, I shall not die on Vietnam soil. Take me to New York. It's a point of entry. A point of entry. Oh, Kimakusajo. Ebi bubide, leo ayeloja, arunile mumide, leo labe igi oromo, labe igi oromo. Agbe ṣeré wa, inú wa dùn, ara wa yá. Òròmbó, máyọ̀, lórí Olúmọ, lórí Olúmọ. Máyọ̀, lórí Olúmọ. Máyọ̀, lórí Olúmọ. On my honor, I say, Girls Guide, I will do my best. On my honor, I say, Girls Guide, I will do my best. Oh, boys of spirit, boys of will, boys of muscle, brain, and power, fit to cope with everything. Boys are wanted everywhere. My hope is built on nothing less but Jesus Christ and righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but only lean on Jesus' name. On Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. There are some rivers in Africa. There are some rivers in Africa. There are Nile, Niger, Senegal, Congo, Orange River, Limpopo, Zambezi. There are Nile, Niger, Senegal, Congo, Orange River, Limpopo, Zambezi. On my honor, I say, Girls Guide, I will do my best. On behalf of the International Human Rights Commission, African Diaspora, I declare this meeting open.
Let's go put hands together. Let's put hands together. Wow, that's lovely. Let's put hands together. That's lovely once again. That's a good one. Well, I thought I'm in barracks, seeing her singing that way. I thought we are now in the army barracks. So thank you so much for that. It's a loving one. And that is to show that we really love Martin Luther King for all what he has done so far. And that's why we are here today, to say we really love all what he has done. And for us to lay a good legacy as well, as we are still on earth. So thank you so much once again for everyone coming on board. I would like to let chief speaker rest a bit before he speaks, because I know by now his heart will be really long now because of the military exercise she had just gone through. So thank you so much. I would like to now officially welcome everyone to this program. Wherever you are joining us from, in any part of the world, in any part of the country, in any nation you are, this is a program dedicated for Martin Luther King Jr. And in this program, we'll be having a book launch. It's a conference anyway, and it's going to be for 3 days. Today, I would like to read the agenda for today. Why at the tail end of today's program, we'll let you know the program for tomorrow and next tomorrow. After this time, I will allow our special guest from India, Dr. Pratibha Mestura, to speak on Goal 4 of the Sustainable Development Goal. And after that, then the chief speaker will come on board. Then immediately after that, we are going to have the host himself to speak briefly about the humanitarian project ahead. Then we are going to listen to Ms. Abidobawa Oye Keno, and she's going to motivate us about teenage programs and activities which they want to do. And because I don't want to expose what she has in her stock to give out onto us. Until when we get there, you understand better. Then we are going to listen to another guest speaker, that is Apostle Adetola Adenekon. JP, I say he's an expert of SDGs. I know we are fully loaded today. I know he has more to tell us. So after his speech, we're going to have a motivational speaker, Claire Turner, the CEO of Promotion from United States of America. Then after that, we go to question and answer. I know we have various questions to ask. After that, we're going to answer to our questions. Then after that, we go for book launch before we say a good day to everyone. So I will now like to introduce to us our guest speaker for today, Dr. Misra from India. I know some of us might have known her before because I've received several messages on Facebook. Immediately she shared this program. Thousands of people are following her about, but now she's here with us. So we are happy to have you on board, our dear distinguished humanitarian. So thank you so much. I would just like to read briefly your profile to the house. With me and with us here is Dr. Pratibha Mestura from India. She's an education. She is a motivational speaker. She also a straightforward person. She doesn't like anything contrary to what is right. So let me just read a short biography. She's an educational strategist, currently serving as the principal of Trevor International School, Namibia, and a consultant to various educational organizations. She is on a mission to empower those who impart and consume knowledge. In her career, she has worked for over 20 years now in this educational sector. She has been associated with a lot of institutions, reforms, and especially on the adoption of new educational paradigms. If I'm not correct, you say much about that when you speak. Thank you so much. I'm reading what I have here. And to cut it short, she's a graduate and with several honors. And she has also graduated several students with great honors. And now she is presently a principal. To cut it short, she is a guest speaker for today. And she's going to take us on Goal 4 of the Sustainable Development Goals and to talk about quality education. So thank you so much for having you with us, Dr. Misra from India. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so very much, Mr. James, and the entire team of WHOPE to have me on the board. It's my pleasure. First of all, greetings to everyone. Namaste from India, and wish you a happy new year. And I hope you all are safe and sound. Thank you so very much to have me here. Mr. James, I would like you to make me host so I can share my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, thank you. Okay. So, as we all know here, we are all working for the development of the society, for the country, for the world, so we can live our best life. And I strongly recommend and believe as well the education. Education is a key factor for everything, for the success of a human, for the success of the country, of the world, universe, everywhere. Unless and until we all are educated, we cannot do anything. So education is very much important for everyone. Cut short, let me know if I'm audible, loud enough, clear for everyone. Can you hear me? James, I'm audible. I'm clear. Okay,
Yes,
thank you so very much. Okay. So why it matters, why quality education matters? See, everyone is getting education, but why we say quality? Quality because getting education is easy, but getting appropriate education as per the age factor, as per the requirement, as per the need of the society, are we getting the quality education? So what is the main why we need it, and what are the basic human right of our education? See, as we have a fundamental rights to live in the country, same way education is our birthright, and it's a need of our life. Without that, it's a primary factor. Without that, we cannot survive. So sustainable development goal 4, which talks about education, propels forward the vision of ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and to promote lifelong learning opportunities for all through holistic, aspirational, and systematic education agenda. Education monitoring is integral part in this process. As we all have seen, without holistic development of a human being, we cannot live our best life in a peaceful situation. So we have to create that, and such kind of things come only when you are well qualified. Education is a process of facilitating learning or acquisition of knowledge, skills, values, beliefs, and habitats. See, when we talk about values, just now we got to see Evande, how well she sang the national anthem, how well she presented her country, how well you all started. These shows, these are the skills, these are the values which we need to inculcate in our coming generation. This is all about our education. This is all about our beliefs. This is all what we need to have in our day to day life habits. In many countries, primary and middle school are compulsory, allowing to acquire basic knowledge such as reading, writing, math, develops skills, and so on. But compulsory education provides children with the access to higher learning and bet for the better job opportunity, which ultimately helps create the developable, sustainable society. In targeting the Millennium Development Goals, MDGs, the previous version of SDG, the world managed to improve global so school enrolled by rates of 2015 deadline, halving the number of children who could not attend school. Globally, around 5.5 million more girls than boys of primary school age were out of school in 2018. Yet 60 million children primarily in Asia and Africa, are still unable to receive even a primary education. In other words, the world has still much more to do. So this is, you all can say, this is a fact figure which I'm talking about. Still, we are struggling with the higher education, which is very much important. If you see the basic education, kids are still deprived from that. Still, world is struggling to get many part of this country, or we can say the world, still the kids are not getting even the primary basic need or basic education, which is very much important. The what is the sustainable development goal 4 is talking about, is talking about quality education, which is talking about inclusive and equitable quality education, and to promote lifelong learners, which we all know very well. There are so many targets to fulfill, so many things to work on it. Not only we as a common, but even the government by joining our hand. Without government, we cannot. Without individuals' interest, we cannot. So it is a jointly venture which we all have to work. I'll be talking in short about the targets of goal 4. By 4.1 by 2030 ensures that all girls and boys complete free education, equitable quality primary, and free secondary education, leading to relevant goal for effective learning outcomes. By 2030, ensures that all girls and boys have access to quality early childhood development care and pre-primary education, so that they are ready for the primary education. Here, I would like to highlight one more important part. In India, after 30 years, there is a huge reformation in national education policy. Now, India even thought of ki why, where are we lacking? We need to work in not only primary, secondary, higher secondary section, but even we have to work from the early childhood, which we talk about the kindergarten, which is very much, it is a base, because 80% of our brain starts developing in the childhood, early childhood, which is very much important. When we see target 4.3 by 2030 ensures equal access for all women and men to affordable and quality technical, vocational, and tertiary education, including university. When we have a base strong, definitely we can avail the good quality education in in a higher level, like primary, pre-primary, primary, secondary. Then we talk about higher secondary and the university. So 2030 sustainability increase the number of youth and the adult who relevant skills, including technical and vocational skills for employment, for decent jobs and entrepreneurship. So if you see this kind of quality education, we if we have a quality education, we all can have a decent job. We can live the life better where we deserve for, and we can pass the quality to the coming generation, the future of the country, the future of the world. Target 4.5, if you see, by 2030, eliminate gender disparities. If you see, girls are still deprived. No, I'm not talking about only India. I'm not talking about only certain parts of the country part of the world, but there are so many places still it is been not given the priority to the girls. So somewhere we all are working for, the entire world is working for it in education, and ensures equal education level of education and vocational training for vulnerable, including person with disabilities, indigenous peoples and children in vulnerable situations. 4.6 by 230 ensures that all youth and substantial proportion of adults, both men and women, achieve literacy and numeracy. See that if you talk about 2030 target 4.6, they are targeting what? The youth. The youth is a backbone of any of the country. If youth is well literate, if youth is well trained, or if they are getting the better opportunity to grow, definitely the country will grow. It will be not only developing, it will be developed country. So 4.5, let's see what is 4.7 by 2030 ensures that all learners acquires the knowledge and skill needed to promote sustainable development, including among others through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyle, human rights, gender equality, promotions of a culture of peace and non-violence, global citizenship, appreciation of culture diversity, of culture contribution to sustainable development. All these things are very much required if you talk about the different human rights, the human fundamental basic needs, which is very much important. And education plays a very important role to fulfill this. So when we talk about, there are certain three more other targets which we talk about: build and upgrade the education facility. We are talking about the facilities, not only the infrastructure, wise, even the child, the disabled kids, those who are not getting required studies or required resources or required proper proportionate quality of education. It is very much required. Since gender sensitivity provides safe and non-violent and inclusive effective learning environment for everyone. It is again the basic fundamental right for everyone to have a safe environment, to live, to grow, to progress, and everything. So when we talk about 4.B, by 2020, substantially global expand the number of scholarships available to developing countries, in particular least developed countries, small islands, developing states, and African countries, for enrolling in higher education, including vocational training and information, communication technology, technical engineering and scientific programs, and develop and many more. There are so many places where we really need to work on it. By 2030, substantially increase the supply of qualified teachers. See why we are talking about qualified and the quality teacher? Because one quality teacher can provide the best knowledge to many. Because in a class, if we talk about 20 is to 1 ratio, then the quality teacher can spread the knowledge what best she can give. So the quality of the teacher should be not compromised. It should be taken care a lot not only by the human of the country, but even the government of that country. Because unless and until we keep some amount of resources for the training teachers, you cannot have a quality education, because a teacher is a backbone. Teacher is a face of the education. Teacher is everything. In short, without teacher, without pupil, you cannot do anything. So they both are equally important for the better quality education, including international cooperation. Now, as we all are blessed, we all have seen during this pandemic, many have suffered, many lost the opportunity to grow, but many got the opportunity, many created the opportunity. In fact, I can say this is a boon to all of us. With the help of technology, with the help of online, all the teachers across the globe could connect to each other, where we can connect, where we can share our ideas, where we can share our innovations, where we can share so many things, where everyone can get the benefit of it. So somewhere I feel it is the best opportunity to encash not in a form of monetary, but in form of education. So being a teacher, definitely, I believe I'm even a teacher, so imparting knowledge is the best for serving to the society. Let's see how education is again interlinked with other SDG goals. When we talk about, there are 17 SDG goals, and if you see SDG 3, health and well-being, SDG 5, gender equality, decent work and sustainable SDG 4, responsible consumption and production SDG 12, and climate change mitigation SDG 13. If you see all these main five SDGs, which are very much connected to education, with the help of education, we all can work on this special five SDGs, which is the backbone of all these goals. So by 2030 ensures universal access to sexual and reproductive health care services, including for family planning, information and education, and the integration of reproductive health into national strategies and programs. Gender equality, if I talk about, number of countries with laws and regulations that guarantee women aged for 15 to 49 years access to sexual and reproductive health care, information and education. Decent work and sustainable growth, if I talk about, then by 2020 substantially reduce the proportion of youth in not in employment, education or training. Responsible 2030 ensures that people everywhere have the relevant information and awareness of sustainable development and lifestyle in harmony with nature. Here, when we talk about the entire world is talking about SDGs, entire world is really facing so many challenges in their day-to-day life. When we talk about climate change, when we talk about healthcare and so many things, I feel all these schools can really start working on these kind of SDGs, which will help everyone to connect, which will help to create nice awareness programs, and which will help the society to understand better. Because education is the best platform to share any kind of message across the universe, whatever you want to. And I feel being educator, we all are responsible to do the same. So I request all the educators, those who all are connected with us, should work for the piece of education, because education, as in the beginning I told, it's a backbone, interrelated. It education can create opportunities for the better health, for the better um, life and so many things. So conditions throughout people lives can affect both education and health. So it is interlinked. We cannot ignore any of these SDG. We all have to focus on it, and we all have to join our hands together to work on it. So what are the challenges? There are so many challenges in talking about what we say, the education. If you see, one, I'll just give you two, three challenges. I won't touch all because I have many other speakers waiting for, and already we have started little late, so I'll not take much time. I'll try to wrap in short. So if you talk about the challenges, 103 million youth worldwide lack basic literacy skills. More than 60% are women. So what solution we can have for this? Promote education for all as powerful tool to build sustainable and resilient society, which is again humble request from my end that these are these challenges where we all are facing, and the solution also I'm trying to give from my end, that we all can promote the education for the underprivileged people, underprivileged kids, those who cannot avail, and those who have ample of resources should really pass it on to the coming generation. If you see the another challenge, one more challenge I can say, lack of access to the basic services such as water and electricity prevent children, especially girls, from going to school. So this is the main challenge. It's not only faced by one or two countries, it is faced by worldwide. So what solution we can have? We can improve access to basic services like free children time so that they can go to school. We can keep children free from the basic challenges so they can avail such kind of education which is easily possible for them. The another challenge we talk about, natural disasters such as floods and droughts can lead to children dropping out of the schools for extended period of time. So what solution we can have for all this? So there are, build resilience we can build resilience to ensure children can go to school at all time, including during extreme climate events. See, we all are struggling. If you see, we all are talking about climate change. We all are taking care of everything. In fact, in schools, we talk about natural disasters. We train our kids accordingly that if such kind of disasters are being faced by you, so what are the solutions for it? How you can protect yourself? So I feel all the schools should start from the lower class itself, from the primary class itself. So the teachers have a great responsibility to turn the society to the better place to live for every new generation. So if you see, before COVID, inclusive and equitable, the progress towards our education was inclusive and equitable quality education was too slow. But implication part, if you see, uh, here again I'll say it was too slow. Over 200 million children will still be out of school in 2030. By seeing the situation of COVID, I am not saying this is a fact figure. We are just assuming the 200 million children will be still out of school. The reason because of this pandemic as well. Implication, the school closure kept 90% of school students out of school, reversing years and progress on education. If you see, we all are going to face this challenge in 2030, still 8 years to go, but still we are not ready to give the full education, though world is trying their best to give, but still we are not able to meet that expectations. So remote learning remains out of reach for at least 500 million students. So what are, how much progress have we made so far? The primary school completion rate reached 84% in 2018, up from 70% in 2000, and under current trends is expected to reach 89% globally by 2030. So, what a challenge remains that despite year of steady growth in enrollment rates, non-proficiency rates remain durably high. In 2018, some 773 million adults, two-thirds of whom are women, remain illiterate in terms of reading and writing skills. And the sheer magnitude of school closure due to COVID-19 likely to set back progress on access to education. So, what can we do? Ask our government to place education as a priority in both policy and practice. I feel we all have to stand for the education. As yesterday I was just going through the news, I just saw how the teachers are out on the street to protest because there are the policies which are not being prepared appropriately, which are being not practiced appropriately, so which is very much need. Yesterday, I hope many of you must have seen the current situation of the teacher and the education, how we all are struggling. So we all have to work jointly for the same, and we don't have to protest with the violence. We have to work in a peace. We have to come with the solution. There are so many problems, but there are solutions too. So we all have to find out the ways. We all have to look into it, what we can do to bring the change in the society. Lobby our government to make firm commitments to provide free primary school education to all, including vulnerable or marginalized groups. Which is marginalized group, when we talk about, we are talking about everyone. So the government needs to look really on the policies and the practices of the studies and the education. So basically, one small message I would like to give everyone before I wrap on by Mr. Chesterton, that education is simply the soul of a society as it passes from one generation to another. And I agree, I hope all educators will agree, because whatever we learn, we teach. So we should ensure that whatever quality studies we are doing, we should pass it on to our coming generation, and that generation will give it to another. So today you are learning, teach someone else. He or she will teach someone else. So you can make a difference. We all can make a difference. So thank you so very much patiently listening to me. And I request everyone to just join our hand for the quality education, and let's work for the SDG of required of the universe. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Now, that was so perfect and lovely. Thank you so much for having you on board.
Thank you so very much.
So we are not mistaken bringing you on board. We are not mistaken inviting you for this program. And we are not mistaken calling you a doctor because you qualify for that. So thank you so much. We applaud that for that wonderful presentation you have just done. Please, if you're having any question for our dear doctor from India, you can put it in the box, in the chat box. When it comes to time for question and answer, she will be on set to answer your question, because the topic is so challenging. And I know some people have questions to ask. So thank you so much for being with us and for this wonderful moment you have spent so far. Yes, I would like to proceed further to the chief speaker of the day. She's gallant and she's ready again. I don't know why she's standing up now without even, okay, you have to stand up for recognition. And I have to introduce you to the house, because some people are just saying different clothes on you, different tags, different flags, different cap, different suits, different. All right, I would like to introduce to the house today our guest speaker. It is no other person but Dr. Ambassador Yewande Okunoro and Oyekeno. She is Director General of Operation for International Human Rights Commission, and also a president for International Human Rights Commission, Africa Diaspora. She is a neuroscience researcher interested in healthcare innovations, business strategies, trauma, mental brain repair. So she repairs brains in case we have some brains that are not working well. She repairs brain. All right. She's also a manager. Yes. She has BSc in biochemistry from the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Nigeria, and she has a master's in pharmacology and therapist in a specialization in pharmaceutic. What do you put there? From the University of Ibadan. You know, I'm protecting my teeth. I don't want it to remove because of this scientist terminology I'm reading here. So our doctorate career started at the University of Lesotho, UK, where she studies psychology and pharmacology with neuroscience specialization before transferring to California Intercontinental University for doctorate business administration in healthcare management and leadership. As Wendy Nore, a board member and principal investigator. She bridged the gap between medical researches and found way to ensure the rapid transformation of research results to benefit the societal needs. She serves as a board member of Promotion and the Africa Diaspora Executive Board of the International Human Rights Commission. UND encourages the age of 9 to 18 to engage in STEM careers. She was awarded a prize from the British Pharmacologist Society for the best education poster presented at Pharmacologist 2019. She has inspired her to make the subject anesthetic pharmacology easy to understand. So if I want to learn that, I know she's there for me too. She is a member of the British Pharmacological Society, American College of Health Executives, Society for Neuroscience, among others. She volunteers for the Royal Volunteering Services in UK as an NHS COVID-19 volunteer responder. Also, she is a board member of the Executive Governing Council of World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. Here with us is Dr. Yewande Okunore Oyekenon. Thank you so much for having your board. She is our guest speaker and a chief speaker for today. Thank you so much for having your board. Now you can have your seats and take the floor. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for the short introduction. I hope some people will not be offended, but I will have to drop the Nigerian flag for some time. Thank you. So I will be giving us a chat rather than a presentation. So I'm reading from Strategic Management for Global Business Leaders, year 3000 by Yewande Okunore Oyekenon. It implies that the year 3000 says for many centuries to come, because of what we've learned from COVID, the tips in this book will be useful. First, I will start with the dedication. We will be going through books as well as having speeches because it's a public lecture and a book launch. Dedication. This book is dedicated to all patients who died during the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic had great influence, negative influence, because of the lack of preparedness of global business leaders. I will be giving us a charge So accept my speech as Chapter 2, Corporate Social Responsibility and Board Strategies. Sustainable manufacturing processes are the best way to help keep the environment healthy. But many organizations have been unable to achieve this, especially if it cuts down their profits or capital. The constant contamination of seawater by oil explorers, the introduction of fumes from combustion in the manufacturing procedures, the use of substances in food production that lead to obesity are all unacceptable practices and should be stopped. For instance, there are various regulations for environmental protection, and they are less strict in developing countries. Hence, the relocation of some US manufacturing firms to these locations, Whelan et al. 2018. The responsibility of the board of directors is to ensure that the organization is not guilty of putting the environment at risk of contamination due to their practices. The board of directors should also see to it that the citizens of the environment in which they operate are adequately looked after. The importance of following a sustainable strategy for corporate social responsibility is the focus of this chapter. This is the reason why we called this day's theme, Leaders for Education. We need to have separate meetings for leaders and separate meetings for teachers and students. So tomorrow we'll be entertaining our teachers and students. That's why, for those that don't understand, this is my doctorate from California Intercontinental University, and I'm also a member of the American College of Healthcare Executives. However, I am a Nigerian. That's why I carry my flags. As well as being an African diaspora board member for International Human Rights Commission, I have to obey every holiday we have, and that's why we are celebrating the Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. Corporate social responsibility and accountability. Ethics in business is required for all stages of the corporate environment, even though some organizations do not comply with ethical standards in the name of making a profit. For this reason, business ethics should form part of the syllabus in business schools to improve the next generation of business leaders, KFA 2009. The size of the firm financially determines its involvement in corporate social responsibility task. As firms like Walmart have been able to increase their customer base as a result of their sustainable practices for environmental protection, Whelan et al. 2018. Large firms also publish their annual reports online and on public databases like US Securities and Exchange Commission, making it readily available for anyone to assess their activities, like CSR report in Shakor et al. 2016. A positive cyclical link has been found to exist among performance, strategies, and attributes of corporate social responsibility, Shakor et al. 2016. Accountability concerning CSR also depends on the location and culture of the environment. While a developing country can view bribes as a form of appreciation, it is frowned out at the developed world. For this reason, CSR performance may vary, as one company that indulges more in philanthropy rather than environmental protection is also reported to have positive CSR report performance. I will now give you the strategies for recruiting board members for optimal performance. For the best decisions to be made, companies must recruit the best expertise to make up the board of directors. When hiring the members of the board, it should be stressed that behavior is critical in addition to knowledge. Business schools now incorporate ethics into their teaching and emphasize the prevention of acts like malfeasance, KFA 2009. A board member must understand that corporate governance is incomplete if environmental and social forces are neglected. Data stream and asset 4 are types of databases that incorporate all financial data and ecological, social, and governance, respectively. These databases measure CSR strategy by assigning values for optimal CSR performance. Board members can be recruited within the organization or brought from outside, which is termed an independent director, which is why I'm with World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. I am from International Human Rights Commission, African Diaspora, but because I've come from external, we are able to merge, and that's why we are having this program, and I'm happy the way it has come. The role of the CEO and chairman can also be merged by a process called duality. The past performance of prospective board members in CSR performance should be assessed during the recruitment process to ensure that the best skills for corporate governance are chosen. Now, what are the implications of the composition of the board of directors on strategic decision making? I'm happy Dr. Pratibha talked about the girl-child education and education for all as well, not just by race or gender. Now, the implications of composition of board of directors on strategic decision making are that the composition of the board of directors is usually endogenous rather than exogenous. Furthermore, the structure can be diverse with respect to age, gender, ethnicity, and education level RAW until 2016. It has been observed that a board composition of 2 or 3 females, in addition to a male majority, ends up being more productive than those of a male-only structure. Concerning CSR, women and independent directors also have a positive association with CSR, while duality had a negative retention. RAW until 2016, however, revealed that while some evidence and arguments indicate that female directors are more likely to have a positive influence on CSR outcomes, female directors in some other arguments say they are limited in performance. Corporate social responsibility like environmental performance can be influenced by board composition. A board can have a select environmental committee that is conversant with environmental protection rather than a board member like a sustainability manager, as there has been a more positive relationship in corporate ecological performance by the environmental committee rather than a sustainability manager. Dixon Fowler et al. 2017. The capability of the managers of improved strategies for environmental performance did not have any association with environmental performance. The decision-making process for supporting policies that produce improved environmental practices is usually supported by females, while males are more concerned with technological issues. Shakur et al. 2016. My recommendations. CSR reporting and the strategic decisions needed for improved environmental performance should be taught in business schools, so future managers can think of making profits while considering the environment in which they operate. The sources provided in this chapter have proven that there is some association between corporate environmental performance and the diversity, note the word diversity, of the board of directors. A representation of each attribute in diversity demographics rather than focus on gender alone is highly recommended. Inclusion of males and females, old and young, experienced and new skills on the board, and the creation of a select committee that reports CSR activities to the board are also highly recommended. In conclusion, the implications of having a diverse board of directors have been discussed, and it has been observed that even though each of the authors supports their views, there is still strong evidence that the more diverse board of directors performs better than a homogeneous team. The firms with a more substantial financial base are usually the ones that report their CSR activities. It does not mean that smaller firms do not engage in CSR, but they may be unnoticed due to their finances. It is not advisable, however, to invest all of the company's profits on CSR. And for this reason, companies that are not so large should ensure that they do not emit toxic waste to the environment. This can be achieved if the company follows the principle of reduce, reuse, and recycle. And the references are Dixon Fowler, Elstrom Johnson 2017, Kafer and Kafer 2009, Rao until 2016, Shakur Q, Trajanowski 2016, William Hunger Hoffman, and Bamford 2018. Thank you. This book is available at Lulu bookstores. My publisher is at North Carolina. Is for £50 special price, and you can get it from WHOPE. I have 10 publications for last year alone, and I still have more books to produce. So thank you very much, and enjoy the public lecture and book launch.
Can we put our hands together for her, please? This is a wonderful one. Thank you so much for having you on board for that speech so far. Thank you so much, dear Dr. Yuande. I know you have much to say, but you are trying to calm yourself. You're trying to be time conscious. You're trying to be obedient this time around. So thank you so much for having us. Now, if you have any question for our dear Dr. Yuande, just put it in the box. Staff is going to do justice to that. We write your questions out. Then it's time for question and answer. We make sure we attend to your question. So thank you. I want to appreciate every one of us too coming on board from Italy, from Nigeria, from India, from US, from UK, all over the world. Thank you so much. And we want you to just follow us one after the other. I do not know yet if our teenage speaker is available now. Is Ms. Abidoba available now?
Her YouTube is available, sir. I've sent it to you. Her video has been sent to you.
Is she available?
No, she can't make it. Our video has been sent to you. She's had her speech on YouTube.
All right.
Yes, sir.
If she's not available, then we'll go straight to their honorable speaker, the other guest speaker, Apostle Adetola Adinekon. Please, I don't know if the honorable doctor is available now.
Yes, very well. I'm very much available, sir. Okay. I'm very much available.
Yes, thank you so much. You are with us. I don't want to read your profile in absentia, so that's why I want to be sure you are available before I proceed further. So
I'm very much available.
Today we are having a meals as well. Apostle Adetola Adinekon, JP. JP might mean so many things, Jerusalem pilgrim, justice and peace or whatsoever, justice of peace. So it makes so many things. So whatsoever, I know it is highly profiled and respected personalities, take that JP. So thank you for having you in our midst this time.
Thank you very much.
Apostle Adetola Adinekon is an alumni of Ogun State Polytechnic, Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, C&S College of Divinity, Lagos, UNDP Leadership Development Program, and West Africa Civil Society Institute, Ghana. Concerning his profession, he is a journalist, a broadcaster, served as chairman, training, and capacity building community of information chapel of Ogun State Council of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, taking journalists to training in Ghana and South Africa. Passion. His passion based on social entrepreneur, youth rights activities, development consultant, international scouter. So that means the Honorable is a scout. Thank you so much. He served as state chairman and national PRO of National Youth Council of Nigeria, founding coordinator, Youth Network on HIV and AIDS, Population and Development, founding president, Commonwealth Youth Organization of Nigeria, CEO, Center for Grassroots Education, Healthcare and Empowerment, LOC chairman, first and second International Conference on SDGs in Nigeria, BOT chairman, network of NGOs working on transparency and accountability. Assistant Chief Commissioner, HOD of Diversity, Inclusion, and Social Impact of Scout Association of Nigeria. He led Nigerian team to 7th West African Scout Conference in Burkina Faso, 5th African Scout Jamboree in Cote d'Ivoire, and 23rd World Scout Jamboree. Project facilitator for World Bank, Commonwealth Foundation, Global Fund, as well as UNICEF, UNDP, UNFPA, UNV. I have to mind my teeth here so it will not remove all this UNMVV. All right, to improve the quality of life of different category of people. Now concerning his calling, our dear Honorable Apostle is a core prophet and a social apostle and host minister of C&S Movement Church, your new Chapel of Faith. Okay. Ilewo, Abeokuta, Ogun State, Southwest Nigeria. Award. He has 17 local, national, and international awards, which are very stable. So thank you so much. At least being a man, I'm supposed to give special honor because I've been introducing women since. So I'm very grateful having you on board at the Apostle, and your profile is still, we need to add more after this program. So thank you for having you on board today to be our special guest. Thank you so much. Over to you, sir, dear Apostle.
Thank you very much, distinguished participants. I hope you can hear me very clearly. Well, I want to appreciate the organizers of this event for granting me an opportunity to share my thoughts and to be part of this wonderful gathering of distinguished personalities from across the world, talking about issues of sustainable development and how we can achieve it, especially make era. No person actually prepared for COVID-19. It came as a surprise to the whole world. And it's not only a global village, but a global hamlet. Something that happened in a very small town in Wuhan, in China, could easily spread to all the countries of the world within weeks and within months. And we want to say that COVID-19 actually challenged all medics, all scientific breakthrough, but I want to thank God for the opportunity of weathering the storm at this moment. In Nigeria, COVID actually entered Nigeria through my state, Ogun State, where we have the index case. And so the challenge was enormous, but we were able to weather it. Talking about sustainable development goals and how we can achieve it in this pandemic era, which is my focus today. As we are all aware, September 25th, 2015, the world leaders came together after reviewing the success of the Millennium Development Goal and came about the Sustainable Development Goals, a 17-point agenda. I want to say here that Agenda 2030 is not a project, neither is it a program. It is a priority for government of the world to ensure that these basic identified developmental challenges are met within a specific period of time. It is done in a way that we have targets that must be met, an outcome that we are going to use to actually measure our success story. Like I said, SDG is not a project, neither a program. It is expected that government of the world will leverage on this development agenda and mainstream our budget priorities, our development priorities, to make sure that we are able to fight poverty, we are able to say no of our people, we are in gender equity in some of the work that we do. The issue of clean water and sanitation is also key. Energy, power and energy, clean energy, and of course, sustainable cities, up to the point that the issue of peace is also germane. And to wrap it up, SDG is talking about partnership. When COVID came, a lot of narrative actually changed because the target that was set for this period was actually hindered. Throughout the year 2020 and 2021, a lot of priority was shifted to the health sector. As a matter of fact, when COVID came, it was seen as if it is an health challenge. But as we progressed, we found out that it was not only an health challenge, it also has its own implication on education, it has implication on the economy, it has implication in providing food and security, and of course, it has implication on the security situation of countries. And so nearly every sector of the economy, every aspect of the SDG, the 17 goals and the partnership were actually affected in the course of year 2020 and 2021. We also witnessed, it started as COVID, now we have Delta variants, and now we have Micron. All this is to show us that we have a long way to go in order to meet our target, because they provided achieve sustainable. A lot of things that were said to be achieved were actually not possible because the attention of the world has to focus on this epidemic to make sure that we're able to fight it and actually eradicate it. And you will recall that a lot of countries were shut down, businesses were shut down, individuals cannot move up. Move around. So for this period of COVID, Sustainable Development Goal was actually every individual, every country. The pandemic is gradually reducing, and we are looking at, by the grace of God, we are going to surmount it year 2020 based on prediction from the scientific researches and from the World Health Organization report that we received. All hands must be on deck to see how we can actually accelerate the development process so that these 2 years that we have missed in actually achieving SDG, we can actually overcome it. Like I said, government has a very big role to ensure that we meet alone. The private sector also has a very big responsibility in ensuring sustainable development goal. I want to appreciate the last speaker who actually spoke about corporate social responsibility and ethical standard in business management. This is a very big issue whereby companies, both big and small, have a responsibility to ensure that our activity does not infringe on the environment, it does not infringe or impact on the life of the people negatively. And so they also have a responsibility to work with government to ensure the achievement of these sustainable development goals. Civil society organizations also have a role to play because the people are also involved in implementing and in achieving SDG. There's a maxim that says, leave no one. The message of SDG, individual must contribute. A lot of developmental plans are being done apparently without research, without data. The era of carrying out research and keeping all the research results on the shelf is gone. The academics should come out and share information about research breakthrough with the government, with the private sector, so that program and action will be data-based and will be evidence-based, so that we'll be able to have maximum impact. I also want to say that the global community must come together more than ever before as a one family, because a situation whereby a particular country will be interested in achieving SDG at the detriment of others should not actually come to play. Every country must make sure that as we are progressing on the SDG implementation in our own country, how can we assist those that are still lacking behind? And that's the reason why I want to appreciate the United Nations for bringing on board what is called voluntary review process of this SDG implementation at all the national levels. At the UN every year with the session of 2020 and 2021, which we did on Zoom, we used to have what we call high-level political forum meeting, where leaders of various countries will come together to the United Nations and share experiences on what they have been able to achieve. And so countries that are still having challenges in achieving this sustainable development goal can learn from others that have actually achieved. So this peer review mechanism, this experience sharing, is also very, very germane and something that we must also take seriously if you actually want to achieve sustainable development goal, because it is a global agenda and the implementation is done at the national and of course at the subnational level. Another thing that's also very key is the fact that yes, every country as a nation, nationals, that is talking about is that don't just let us look at education in the class alone. We should look at education, the number of boys, the number of girls that are in the school. We should look at the toilet facilities that is being produced, that is being provided for both the boys and girls. We should look at the quality of food that these students will eat when they come to school. We should look at the training of their teachers through empowerment. So when you're looking at quality education, it has to leverage on so many other SDG goals in order to achieve it. So that is what we need to look at. And it is by so doing alone that we can achieve sustainable development goal. If you are building new cities, what else is saying is that once we are building new cities, what is happening to the school system within those new cities? What are we doing to ensure that we provide running water in these new cities? What are we doing to ensure that the new city that we are producing, they have efficient energy that will serve them? What are we doing so that at this new city there is peace and security? And so for every aspect of the goal, for us to achieve it maximally, we should be able to look at other goals that are connected to each of the goals and then do our programming holistically so that the entire generation, the entire people will be able to benefit from this. And finally, I want to say this. For us to achieve sustainable development goal in this pandemic era, we also need to continue to maintain all the non-pharmaceutical preventive measures for COVID. We should not allow any other epidemics to crop into the world system any longer, so that all those things that we did that has reduced must be sustained, so that every country of the world must do everything possible to ensure that we are able to actually vaccinate our larger population. As we speak now, while some countries have done 70% of vaccination, there are still some other countries, especially in the developing world, that have not done more than 2% of their population. And so this is a risk factor, even for those that have been able to do more. So the issue of vaccination for developed countries to assist the developed country, so that we're able to do, if possible, local production of our vaccine, so that the entire population of the world will be able to have this vaccination. It is when we have an elder citizen that will be able to have our mindset on how we can achieve sustainable development goal. And lastly, the issue of peace, which of course is the focus of this discussion, is very, very important. In an era where there is no peace, where there is no security, it is practically impossible for the world, for any country, for any subnational to achieve sustainable development goals. And so the countries of the world, government of the world must work together to make sure that we have peace globally. As we speak today, there are issues in Ethiopia, there are conflicts in Mali, there are conflicts in Afghanistan, there are conflicts in so many other countries. When we have this type of conflict here and there, it becomes very, very difficult for the achievement of sustainable development goal. And so countries of the world must collaborate. They must partner more than ever before to make sure that we have global peace, because it's only in the era of peace and security that we can all flourish, that we'll be able to achieve our set target and be able to bring out the outcome. And I want to believe if you are able to do this, and some of these things that I have said, it will not be too far from us for us to achieve sustainable development goal. So far, it started 2015, this is 2020, almost 7 years gone. We just have 8 more years to go. And so we must redouble our effort, especially thinking about the 2 years that we have actually lost due to COVID globally. So I want to say these are things that I feel we need to do now for us moving forward to make sure that we achieve a sustainable development goal. Government, civil society, private sector, the academia need to work together so that we're able to have SDG achieved globally and at every country of the world. I want to appreciate once again opportunity to share my thoughts, to actually speak at this very important conference and book launch. And I want to say that
could that be his network? Okay, it's showing that he has a very bad network. All right. While we wait for him to come back, we can proceed further, please. So we thank him for all what he has said. They're so wonderful. And I think some points has been noted already for question after when it is time for question and answer. So now it is to hear from Abidoba, if she's there with us and if she has anything she has sent to be played. Then we go ahead with that. Then Dr. Yuande, are you there now? Please, you have to play what Abidoba sent, please.
Can you see my screen? Hello?
Apostle Adetola, will get back to you, please. We realized there was the stuff from the network. So we'll get back to you, please. Dr. Yuande is showing her screen. She wants to play what Abidoba sent to be played as our presentation.
Can you see Abidoba, sir?
Yes, we can see that. Yes, we can see that. We can't hear her.
Yeah, select the sound option when you're playing the audio. You can go back again on sharing screen at the bottom. Yeah.
Can you hear now?
No.
No, we can't hear her.
We will have to put it for tomorrow.
Oh, I think if you go back,
day, it's not because I sent the video before now, so I expected it to be played from the office there, not from my phone, because I'm not where I can play it from my computer. I'm using my phone, so it's not convenient.
All right, we'll get back to that. If we can play that from here. So do not worry yourself, Dr. Yewande, we'll see what we can do to that here. And so while we're doing that, we'll now give the audience to our dear honorable guest speaker from United States of America, a motivational speaker, Ambassador Gletona. He is a CEO of Promotion. I believe he's here with us if he's ready to speak now. Ambassador Gletona. Please unmute yourself. And if possible, we'd like to see your face. This face has to be shown. Oh, wow. That's lovely. That's lovely. Can we hear you, please? That is the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of Promotion, United States of America. Over to you, please.
Okay. Hello, hello.
We can hear you.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you, thank you. So I don't need a whole lot of introductions. I'm just a kid from Clinton, Mississippi that's not supposed to be here. And the reason why I say that is like, I never thought that I would be sitting in this seat with all these great people surrounding me today. As a kid, I fell in love with the cartoon character Batman. My reason why I loved Batman was because he was just an ordinary guy who wanted to make a change in the world. He has no superpowers. He has like no super strength, no x-ray vision, nothing. And that's all I am, just a regular guy who wants to make a change in the world. So before I get started today, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for allowing me to be a part of this conference and a part of this book launch. Thank you to our gracious host, man, you've done an amazing job. Thank you to everybody who spoke before me. I mean, the one thing that I've gotten so far from this is everybody wants to figure out a way that we can partner together and get rid of these SDGs. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna attempt to share my screen now and get into my presentation. Can you all see my screen now?
I can see your screen, yeah. Can we see Glenn's screen, please?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I.
Okay, cool. So a little bit about me. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Promotion, and our mission is real simple. Our mission is simply to provide underserved communities with resources needed to sustain healthy lifestyles through empowering our greatest asset, which is people. Let's see if I can close this. So today we're going to talk a little bit about who are we, what problems will we address, how do we go about implementing change, and how do we spread our message. So let's dive right into who are we? Well, every story has a beginning. Our journey isn't any different. Promotion started as a motivational prayer structured to help get rid of negativity from the life of individuals. A seed that eventually germinated and grew into something bigger, a nonprofit organization that's driven by the passion to lend a hand to as many people as possible. We believe the body, mind, and spirit need to be on one accord for a human to thrive. Therefore, they need to be developed simultaneously. Promotion and our team and our staff of volunteers recognize that life's challenges are filled with unpredictable outcomes and not everyone dares to get back up after a fall. The mission of Promotion, as like I said, is to provide underserved communities with the resources needed to sustain healthy lifestyles through empowering our greatest asset, people. We aim to help others get back on their feet spiritually, mentally, and physically. This is accomplished through visiting homeless shelters, churches, parks, bus and train stations. We deliver food, blankets, socks, shoes, and personal hygiene items. We also adopt families during the holidays. We feed and gift children with school supplies. We organize therapeutic communities for recovering addicts to develop a healthy lifestyle. And we also create health awareness. Our nonprofit organization also organizes workshops to tackle various areas of life, such as financial planning, building self-esteem, conflict resolution, how to start your own businesses, how to resolve family conflicts, parenting classes, and several other topics. Promotion also designs programs like field trips, training camps, seminars, and conferences for teenagers, young adults, and people with terminal ailments. With these activities and several others, we will aid the prayers and we've been able to give, teach, train, and strengthen the faith of so many. Our organization believes knowledge is power, and that power is needed for survival. The power to overcome fear and to believe in oneself, the power to be hopeful and start over, the power to love yourself, because no one can do that better than you, and the power to have faith, trust God, and to know, even in your darkest hour, you can still pray. So what problem will we address? Excuse me. Our mission is to provide communities with underserved people the resources needed to sustain healthy lifestyles. So how will we go about implementing this change? Well, it's simple. We've introduced a program called a Live By. And what a Live By is simply it brings hope to homeless and poverty-stricken individuals for providing concise visits in a critically designed effort to feed them with food and thought. Yes, there are many organizations that have attempted to provide food and praying or giving food and leading them to shelters, but Promotion is doing live-bys to provide necessities and additional resources that they themselves have expressly need based on what they live by. Not all homeless people want to live elsewhere. Some believe in brushing their teeth. Some would rather spend money given to them on a fresh blanket before buying clothes. But my question is, has anyone ever asked them? So how do we do this? We are going to simply ask them. We ask 3 questions. What can I do to help you now? What can you not live without? And if you can have one thing, what would it be? Oh, excuse me. We also provide them a Live By card. What a Live By card does, it comes with food, but also serves as a pass with the time, day, and date for them to receive the items that they actually live by. The idea is to start small, but I want to provide them with building blocks to retrieving their overall desires. It may not get them back in the workforce or possessing living quarters, but it will assist them into feeling like people care about them and want them to feel better about the possibilities that they have, hopefully helping them see a clearer view of life and the things that they can actually live by. So how do we spread our message? How do we spread our message? It's simple. We go to social media. We're asking everybody to join us in our social media pledge using the hashtag #TellYourStory. Excuse me. using the hashtag Tell Your Story. We're inviting all of our people to go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and use the hashtag Tell Your Story. Tell us what's going on with you. Tell us how you're impacting the world. We're asking all of our teens, especially our young adults, to get into this movement. Help us spread our message of positivity. Help give hope to those that seems to be hopeless. And another way that we do this, we have also started our Live By shirts. So what we do is we provide motivational messages on t-shirts to give hope to those who need a extra smile for the day. And how do we do this? We provide motivational messages on t-shirts, and we encourage all of our teens, all of our young adults, all of our staff members to actually wear these shirts. You can actually purchase these shirts on Praymotion.com or liveby-shirts.com. We have several things that's being updated daily, so they're always changing in and out. A lot of these designs are designed by some of our volunteers and our ambassadors. So before I close today, what questions do you have for us? If there are no other questions, I'd like to turn it back over to our gracious host. Thank you.
Yeah, let me just, hello, can you hear me? Yeah, thank you, Glenn. Let me just quickly say that I'm the board member of Praymotion, California. That's where I'm volunteering, and hopefully very soon I will move up to the fellow American College of Healthcare Executives. So Praymotion is one of the organizations I volunteer, and WHOPE, and that's why I've brought all these companies together, and IHRC. So thank you for coming, Glenn. And the reason we are not playing Abidoba's video today is because Abidoba is also under Praymotion. With what we have heard from Glenn, we can see that Abidoba's topic was access to healthcare for children in US prisons. So imagine these shirts that Glenn is making with Abidoba's project. That's why I put them together. We can actually, even if we don't have physicians able to go to prison, they can, get some form of support from, prison service, and scientists going to teach them once in a while. So hopefully tomorrow we'll hear Abidoba's speech, but I can send the video because Abidoba's YouTube video had 1,180 views and it's still getting views. So it just showed us that people are actually interested in that topic, access to healthcare for children in US prisons. So that's chapter 2 of this book. So Abidoba is going in for aerospace engineering next session, 2022-2023. But with aerospace engineering, she was also the health prefect because she was able to explain how to look after people in prison health-wise. She's not saying they shouldn't go to prison. She's just saying while they are there, they should be adequately looked after. So she's going to be working with Glenn, though, yes, her mission is going to space and all of that. So, Glenn, are you still with us? Glenn? Oh, I can see 2 Glens here.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Yeah, so I was going to say we do appreciate everything you do for us, underserved communities, Black people, African Americans, all over. So Glenn is going to be getting 10 copies of my book, Life of a Scientist. So people may be wondering why maybe I look like so I'm dressed like a military scientist. The title of the science fiction movie we are working on is Life of a Scientist, Captain Ade Diwura. So when I was singing, that's why we have the English and Yoruba and everywhere. We're trying to bring our African American children back to their roots, understand one language. So Glenn is going to be getting 10 copies of Life of a Scientist magazine. It's a teenager's magazine. He's going to be working together with Abidoba. So he's going to be doing space mission while the other person, Mr. Zemiso in Singo, is based in the UK. He's going to be doing Rivers of Africa. That's why you saw when I was doing my Rivers of Africa, I was saying Nile. You know that Nile on that side, this is north, south, east, and west. So when I say Nile, Niger, Senegal. So, in Africa, we use rivers. So Glenn is going to be taking up that mission, space mission. We want ages 16 to 18. So I'm not going to be the only one writing. I'm not going to be the only one performing. I want these children to be able to look at, where are they in life and how they can, have great motivational speech. Unfortunately, we couldn't hear from Abidoba today, but the YouTube video is out and I will send it to all of us after the event. So bring your students.
We'll try from here now.
So we're having the competition. It's going to be Space Mission and Rivers of Africa. It's Africa versus its diaspora. So it's like we're comparing African children who grew up in Africa and those of them who grew abroad. They will be competing and they will be learning together as well. So I think it's a good time for us to have Chaplin's message, because that's what he talks about. I just didn't want us to have Glenn keep going and coming, because I mean, it's not fair on him. He's joining us from California, 8 hours behind UK time. So can we have Chaplin's project, and let's see what's okay. That's a bit of, and then we have Chaplin's project. So those are the two projects, Space Mission and Rivers of Africa. So let's get our teenagers ready for tomorrow and let them have fun, and then we do the auditioning afterwards. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Dr. Yewande. Yeah, I'm the one to say the next program, not you, please. So it is a bit of us program now, not WHOPE program. So are we together? Please, let's give it. Give it some. Hmm?
Chaplain, sir. Chaplain Dr. James.
I can hear you.
Yes, the teenagers are having their day tomorrow, teachers and students. So Abidoba's video will be very good for that, because we've already lost time. So you can just take us through your own program. And Glenn has already summarized it. So they're going to be doing a lot of motivational work together. And being aerospace engineering, that career is very important to encourage other kids. So she's going to be volunteering with him there when she starts her aerospace engineering in California. So let's have yours. And we're just trying to see what other people are doing on their own and how we can support you, please. So let's have yours now, and then we move to the quick questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. Tomorrow we are going to embark on that AHIABGA video to say more about the children. So thank you so much for that. Now, this is World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. Vision is to promote peace. That is to create a world of peace where peace reigns. And there cannot be peace when there's a violation of human rights. There cannot be peace. And one of the rights everyone deserves is education. And today, that's why we are promoting education. The Honorable Doctor from India has already done justice to quality education. So I don't need to talk about quality education any longer. So we just want to talk about our project for this education. She has said so much. It is a priority for every child to go to school, to be knowledgeable, because knowledge is power. And where can they get this knowledge? It is through education, either formal or informal. But as per the government, the formal education, it is priority for the government to give to every child in each community, in each state, in our nation, and the world at large. Therefore, through our disability studies to communities, we realize that there are several children roaming about the streets, not going to school. Most of them are food items, while others are in school. Pure waters, gala, plantain chips, and all the rest, while others are in school. We have some that do follow their parents to farm, while other children are in school. With our feasibility studies too, we realize that some do go to fish by the river, while others are in school. So we have been to several places, we have seen several things, and we do ask questions to know what the problems are. We gather information from the parents of these pupils first. Number one, there's no money to send the children to school because they have no job and they are managing whatsoever they have to give out to people. Now, the government said the school should be free education, fine. We ask the parent, once the education is free, why your children are no longer in school? They fed us back that there are conditions in place. If you have to put your child in school, and government school, free education, you have to bring your tax clearance. Now, parents that do not have job, do not have work, that is okay, or going to farm before he or she eats, where is he going or she going to get that tax clearance? Which tax are we talking about? Number one, if we want education to be for all, government should not put anything to hinder the pupils from getting the quality education we are talking about because of their parents inadequately not able to pay the school fees. Then more so, we realize that most communities in the rural areas, there are no school around there. School is far away and they cannot afford school fees, neither affording transportation to transport the children to school. So what have we done through this? It is what we are now sharing with you in the screen here. in this community, this is Okuju community in Badagry. We have a project of building school for that community because in that community there was no school. So this building you are seeing here, we have some that has been completed. We have some that are yet to be completed. We have a staff there that is in charge of this, managing to get things done. We have strived to reach this level. So, and when we talk about quality education, it's not just for children to go to school. What about the teachers? Are the teachers qualified to have quality education to be given to the children? So it's part of the question we have to ask ourselves. Are there tools, materials, equipment for quality education instead of getting laptop or computers for children to learn computer? Obviously, that is how it should be. But in another side, because I've seen where children has to come to school with carton, placed before him or herself as a monitor, then go to the field and bring a stone, put it on the table as a mouse. Then the teacher will tell the children, this is your index finger, do it like this on that stone. That is right click. Do the other hand like this on the stone. That is left click. So if you right click, it will show on the screen. And the person is having carton. How are we now projecting a quality education? So we are looking forward to have quality equipment too for children. So this project has already started, and we are moving on with it by the grace of God. You can see this puppy. This is the puppy we have in that school. This is the school uniform. This is a school environment. You can see blocks we are putting together to make some other classrooms there in Badagry. And you can see in that community, there's no clean water. Like Apostle Adetola have said, some communities need clean water, hygienic one. In that community, there's no water. It's part of what we are putting together. This water beside that school that the pupils will have access to it. And we have this, the one we're able to complete so far. You can see it's a project. These are the children, the pupils, praying to God for help. Some of these children are orphan, motherless. Some are fatherless. Some we pick them from the street. Some in the community there have to come to school. It is a project we have started. This is a director of operation in Badagry to oversee that project. And by the special grace of God, you can say the other part we have to complete. We have tried our best so far. And this is the educational project. WHOPE is already on it. We are already on it. So, and whatsoever we get, whatsoever or whosoever supports us or donates to us to achieve this project, it must be used and it must be to the glory of the Lord, because we are not doing it for ourselves. We are doing it for the generations to come, that they will say after us that our fathers tried. Like today, we set this program for a remembrance, commemoration of Martin Luther King. Why? It's because of what he has done that people see. Whatsoever we do today, tomorrow, people will talk about it. They will remember us for good. And that's why we are putting this together. So we are using this medium. This is all around that local government in Badagry. This is Olorunda local government in Badagry. We seek for support all over the world to make this project done. There are still more things to put in place, the necessary equipment. You may not have the money, you might have equipment like computers, you may supply desks, or you want to pay for some children, or you want to pay the staffs. However, we are together in humanitarianism. And that's why we have a motto as togetherness in humanitarianism, because we cannot do it alone. And we know you cannot do it alone. And that is why we are coming together to make this done. So this is just the project we are having. And that's why we are putting programs together to see how far God will help us to complete this project in Badagry. We have to commission the borehole. We have to commission these schools. And most so, there are some children, they are challenged physically. Some of them might not go to school. We have special programs for them too. They can access education through media, through their laptop, through all this, what is it called? We have tablets that can be used for education. They can learn online whatsoever. So it's part of what we project. It's part of what we have designed to do for education and to promote humanity. So thank you so much for having us. And if anyone is supporting us, you can just text or bring a comment to in the box. Then we'll share account link for any support of whatsoever from any one of us that is coming on board today. So thank you so much for joining us in this humanitarian project. We appreciate you. So thank you. God bless you. Now, I would like to listen to questions and answers before we go to our book launch. If you have any question, please just drop it there now, because we are running up right away after this time out. We'll be glad to have your question, please.
Chaplain Dr. James, sir.
Your Excellency, ma'am.
Chaplain. Yes, sir. Can we have Dame Oluwatoyin Joseph? She sent a video. We'll use it for the teenagers tomorrow, but she wants to chip in something about nursing and the outcome with COVID-19. Dame Oluwatoyin Joseph, Mark, can you unmute her?
Is she here with us?
Yes. Dame Oluwatoyin Joseph, can you unmute yourself? Yes.
If she's here with us, she'll just unmute herself.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yes. From the nursing aspects, the COVID-19 has dealt a lot of blow on that profession, in the sense that, just like Captain Dr. James spoke about not getting support for the project that is being carried out in Badagry area, when this COVID-19 came, there was so much problem, a lot of confusion, and there were lots and lots of patients that needed to be contended with to treat in the hospitals, in the isolation centers and the likes. Unfortunately, the nurses were at the forefront, and also the doctors and other healthcare workers. But then the nurses, being the ones that are always there 24/7, they had a lot of challenges, such as not having adequate PPEs, personal protective equipment, Even the ones that were brought, which were supposed to be used and discarded, because there weren't enough, they needed to just have to start recycling, which wasn't really good for them. But then a lot of them got infected while at work. Some of them lost their lives, even had to carry the infection to their respective families. And this was actually a very big problem. But then they cried out, just like the state where I am now. I'm speaking from Lagos. The nurses have been, agitating that they want their allowances to be paid because they do so much, a lot of hazards at work. But then government doesn't seem to be supporting them, to be listening to them. There are other areas that have also suffered. Like you can see lecturers always agitating for pay rise and allowances to be paid. But for the nursing profession, they've asked that allowances should be paid to them, which the government is not listening to. So even right now, the different variants of the COVID-19 is there, talking about the Omicron and the rest of it, the Delta variant, which was there. They are still the ones that are faced with so many risks because they are always there. They have to treat these patients. They have no choice than just to be there. And then with the brain drain, so many nurses are going abroad because they find it more lucrative. And so it's telling on the ones that are back home because there's a lot of shortage of nurses to work. So it has been a very difficult thing. And then they are agitating that the government listens to them so that those of them who have decided to, stay back, let them be given that incentive, at least to be paid what their dues are, so that they can keep the flag flying. So we have been praying, and we have also been, talking and trying to press buttons to see how this can be done. Because right now, every day you see hundreds of nurses and other healthcare workers who are leaving Nigeria for the United Kingdom. Some of them are going to America, but that of the UK is just too rampant these days. Hospitals are almost empty. So this is a very big challenge, and with what we are facing back home. So we are also trying to see how we can encourage the younger ones to see how they can also try as much as possible to come into the nursing profession. And this, when they come into this profession, we have more hands-on. So there will be, the shortage will be adequately taken care of. So in conclusion, this evening, we are just saying that the COVID-19 has had a very great and negative impact on the nursing profession because they are not adequately being catered for. Those who have to work more than 24 hours, they don't have adequate PPEs to put on. They don't have allowances apart from the hazard. Like welfare, that their welfare should be looked after, because when somebody has to leave his or her home for more than 3 days, just because you want to be at work to look after the sick people, I think they deserve more than what they are getting right now. So the government of the day, people are appealing to them that they should please look into this case of healthcare workers, of which the nurses are the forefront. Thank you very much. I'm done.
Mrs. Joseph, thank you. We appreciate you.
That was Demoluwatoyin Joseph, sir. Demoluwatoyin Joseph. Thank you, ma.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma. She has sent her video, so
Hello,
the teenagers will be. I said she has sent her video. Demoluwatoyin Joseph will be talking to the teenagers tomorrow on how to choose nursing careers.
All right.
Thank you.
That's lovely. So she's going to be back tomorrow with us and to talk to the teenagers. So we'll be very glad to welcome you again tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining us today. That was a wonderful one. I have not seen any questions so far. That means all what we have said, especially from a doctor from India, so it's a justice to all. And though if there's any question verbally, we can do that now. Is there any question from anyone? Yes, somebody is raising hands here. Ambassador Sulaiman from Sudan, please. Over to you. Can we hear you, please?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello,
Hello,
can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And hi to everybody. It's really prospective information today from the different panelists. And for the Adino, I like the way he mentioned that the 2030 SDG goal is not a goal or project. It is the highest priority for government. And I wish if take that and to be an order for underdeveloped countries, because as you know, like our situation now in Sudan, so a lot of political conflicts, and always the politician will not follow the scientist view as we frontline healthcare worker facing that with the COVID-19 pandemic situation over 2 years. Now, some countries start to have the fourth waves. Still no infrastructure till there. The education was being affected. The health was being affected. No government is looking for their nation. I don't know why they use these seats. I wish after this pandemic and what we face worldwide, I wish that any priorities for health to be an order and to be with the penalties for the governments will not follow that, because who are suffering at the end? The students in the schools, which is kids, the nation for their health needs daily basis, elderly who was disabled, a lot of issues. And I wish this HOPE organization will achieve all the goals, and I'm sure they will. My concern regarding Dr. Rwando for the book, this is congratulations to you, dear. I can feel the touch when she said this was dedicated to the patients who passed with COVID. Yes, because I experienced in 1 minute, we will see 20 tests. I was a frontline. So it's really very supportive. And now the mental status for worldwide population need to be monitored. Really, if they are staying at home or even if they are the workers in the hospital, as my colleague, the one who mentioned regarding those nurses, they left the job. Yes, COVID-19, 2 years they are working. Still the problems in underdeveloped countries for the payment, for their meals, for the transportation, and even they are not minding the IPC measures because they are very poor. So who's going to follow, or who's going to take care of the nation, the population, because they cannot provide for them the money for their needs. They are staying away with their families. They cannot go every day to meet their family because they will cross infection. So a lot of issues really need to be highlighted. Thank you for the opportunity to talk.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. and Ambassador Sulaiman from Sudan. Any question from anyone, please? Any question from anyone? If there's no question, we'll proceed further. All right, let's quickly go to our book launch. And we are using this to raise funds for humanitarian projects. And while we call on Ambassador Sulaiman from Sudan to anchor that, and the books, we have 3, maybe today, one has to be read to us, at least to know what is in there, what we're talking about. And the author of those books is Dr. Yewande Oyekano. So we would like to hear from her why the Honorable Ambassador Sulaiman would take the launching process. So thank you so much for having you on board.
Thank you very much, sir. Today, it's a lengthy meeting, but when you're having board meeting, your teachers and students cannot be there. So this is like we're trying to trash all our mistakes and then go tomorrow. I just want to say the situation with the education system is unfortunate. I schooled abroad as an international student, self-funded. I didn't get scholarship, but luckily for me, my final year, I got partial scholarship from Babatunde Raji Fashola, His Excellency. So this is giving back to my community for me. So this book, Yoruba Language for Healthcare Workers, is important, and we have it in French and Spanish, so as well as English. So the reason we're having this book launch is because the teenagers are important to us. They didn't have enough to go to, and they're just reading whatever they see, and healthcare workers and students should be made together to improve the healthcare system. So for those who understand Yoruba, they will understand that the Yoruba language has suffered a lot, and many of our Yoruba teachers are now working, in one public office or in a bank as a director. Well, there are no Yoruba teachers for these kids. By the time they get abroad, they're speaking all the Queen's English, and somebody comes from Yoruba land, they can't speak. So we have it in Yoruba, Yoruba language for healthcare workers, which also complements what Demolu Atoyin has said. It's not just recruiting them into healthcare, but having books written by their own doctors, not books brought from abroad to African children who are even struggling to read, but when they have somebody explain in local language, they understand. But while my work is for US citizens who are struggling to learn, so it's got Yoruba and English in it. And then for our Mexican neighbors, it's got the Spanish one, Explicación farmacológica de la diferencia género observada en la recuperación de la anestesia, Pharmacologia Anesthetica 101. So it's just anesthetic pharmacology. Thank God Dr. Patriba is here. We are looking for Indian translators because I worked with Dr. Bali Garagavenda. He was my master's student, and we did neuroscience together. So maybe Dr. Patriba will have some Indian that can do it in Hindi for us. And in French, Explication pharmacologique de la différence des observée dans la récupération de l'anesthésie, Pharmacologie Anesthésique 101. And it's just talking about anesthesia. When people go for surgery, how did you explain to your patient you were going to read? So I'll just read the first paragraph for the Yoruba one, and then those who are Yoruba who are interested in it can get the copy. But we have Yoruba, French, Spanish, English, Brazilian, Portuguese coming soon. I will be happy to collaborate with Dr. Patriba. I've got my manuscript. I can send it, and we can hire somebody to do the Hindi version, and other versions will come available. So in the Yoruba one, just the first paragraph, orí kìíní, ìyàtọ̀ láàrin akọ tàbí abo pẹ̀lú ìyàtọ̀ nínú àwọ̀ ara lórí ìmúpadà ìwòsàn lẹ́yìn oògùn akúnilórun fún iṣẹ́ abẹ ní ọdún 2001. Ọ̀tẹ̀lánì Kọ́ntì sọ́ọ̀lẹ̀tọ̀ 2001 sọ pé ọmọ Áfíríkà márùndínlógún aláwọ̀ dúdú torílẹ̀-èdè Senegal gba àkókò tí wọ́n tó jí padà lẹ́yìn oògùn akúnilórun propofol fún iṣẹ́ abẹ, ṣùgbọ́n àwọn aláwọ̀ funfun márùndínlógún láti orílẹ̀-èdè Italy tí wọ́n kópa nínú ìwádìí yìí ṣáájú àwọn aláwọ̀ dúdú jí padà lẹ́yìn iṣẹ́ abẹ pẹ̀lú propofol. Ọ̀tẹ̀lánì Kọ́ntì sọ́ọ̀lẹ̀tọ̀ 2001. Ní àkókò yìí kan náà ni àwọn oníwádìí Miles et al. 2001 ṣe ìwádìí ní orílẹ̀-èdè Australia lórí ìyàtọ̀ láàrin ọkùnrin àti obìnrin nínú ìmúláradá ìwòsàn lẹ́yìn oògùn akúnnilórun fún iṣẹ́ abẹ. Ìwádìí orílẹ̀-èdè Australia yìí ṣe àkíyèsí pé àwọn obìnrin máa ń ṣáájú àwọn ọkùnrin jí padà lẹ́yìn iṣẹ́ abẹ nígbà tí àwọn oníwádìí ṣe àyẹ̀wò láàrin ọkùnrin mọ́kànlélógójìlélúgba ìyẹn 241 men àti obìnrin méjìlélógúnlélúgba ìyẹn 222 women. Àwọn oníwádìí yìí jẹ́ kí a mọ̀ pé àwọn aláìsàn ṣe la ojú wọn lẹ́yìn iṣẹ́ abẹ. Èyí ni ó jẹ́ kí a mọ̀ wípé àwọn obìnrin máa ń tètè jí lẹ́yìn iṣẹ́ abẹ. Ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ṣe àkíyèsí pé àwọn obìnrin máa ń ṣe àfisùn ẹ̀yìn ríro, orí fífọ́ àti èébì ju àwọn ọkùnrin lọ. Miles et al. 2001. I'm reading this because we have our guest speaker here. So for those who don't understand Yoruba, I will say, so Dr. Patriba, what I'm trying to say is when people go for surgery and they're coming out of surgery, if we perform surgery on all races at the same time, when they come out of the surgery, the Caucasians, that's the white people, will wake up first. Then the Chinese will wake up next. Then the Brazilians, the Malaysians, the Indians, and then the Black people wake up last. So we found out that between India and Africa, there is not enough research going on. There's not enough. And all the medicine that is brought to us is what has been performed in other races. So I did a study of 20 males and 20 females. And if you see the way I was reading in Yoruba language, I was reading 550 men in Yoruba language, not saying, I was, the actual figure. Some children cannot say 1 to 10 in Yoruba language. How then do you expect them to explain to their patients? So these are the things we are going to correct in summer camp. Even though some kids are abroad, we are going to teach them to their own level. So tomorrow when they come, they are going to have fun. They'll answer questions in their language. If there's a French volunteer, just to, give them what they are going to expect. So if you are going to act a Yoruba movie and you can't pronounce a Yoruba name, you've just messed up your audition. So we want them to value it, that I'm going to play this role. Like when I started this meeting, it's because I used to be the mascot when I was in secondary school. I just watch everybody when they're done with their match pass, they call me and then I lead the team. The banner behind me, I do whatever I like, but I always made my house win for match pass because I knew what I was doing, maybe because my dad was a retired military officer. So we are celebrating military scientists. These people, they go for war, they don't come back. And even when they come back, some of them are, in coma and they have to do surgery on them, whether they're in coma or not. And even if they're not in coma, they have surgery. Some of them lose their lives because of the problems with anesthetic agents. But if you are from France, for instance, and there are no books, there are no medical books in French, how are you going to treat your patients? Then you have to read an English book, translate to French, write your exams in French, get your results in English, and it's all messed up. So we're trying to celebrate our language medical translators, but we want them to work with our doctors. So the new proposal I'm putting forward as a member of the American College of Healthcare Executive for my fellowship upgrade is that from this next session, medical students should have multiple language proficiency. Thank you. That's for the book. And then for my support from International Human Rights Commission, I want to thank the host. So this is something, a 5-year-old boy made this design. This is his artwork for his 5th birthday project, a 5-year-old boy. So this is a age 3 to 4 shirt. I thank God Glenn told us a lot about t-shirts. So this is for 3 to 4 years old. We are going to give you 10 t-shirts for nursery school, age 3 to 4. We have age 7 to 8, and we have for secondary school. So this should be 7 to 8, so that we don't want to take many children. So this is designed in the United Kingdom, produced in Netherlands, and distributed in Europe. So while I'm here doing t-shirts for children, Glenn is over there on the West Coast in California doing for general people motivational talk. And this is for secondary school, but it can also go for large people. Some teachers might want it. If we look at Chaplain, please come to your screen. I only sent him the design. I want us to extract something from here. I sent him the design and he made his own face cap, which of course copyright. images subject to copyright. So I gave him permission to print. So instead of us shipping things, because the pandemic has taught us a lot, we can now make. So he's going to be making white. So if I see another white copy, I know it's counterfeit. So I'm making gray. So, and I see that what Anthem has done in Nigeria versus UK, there's no difference. There is no difference. That's for the kids. Then we want the kids to buy this type of clothes, so that we are not just giving them things. They too are giving us something, and they make clothes for their teachers with African material. This they can do it themselves. It's tie and dye. So this is mine. I'm going to be teaching the children. In addition to the clothes we are giving, I'm going to be spending some hours with them. So this is my shirt. As a Yoruba teacher teaching science students who are going for medicine. So we don't want teachers coming, with unnecessary clothing. So this is the hand, I got this one as a designer in the UK, but I know that Nigerian tailors are very good. So Dr. Patriba, if you want the Indian version, we are having King and Queen's Ball for Valentine. They can wear their Indian costume. So this is another one. You can see the front. So it's for the teachers, because if you take care of your students, this is the back. You're not taking care of the teachers, they're going to mess things up. And then you start hearing a kid was kidnapped. So I really wish I knew about this program a lot. And this design came from a 5-year-old boy in Nigeria. That's why if a child in Nigeria has done something great, then we should give it back to Nigeria. So this is the pen. So we're going to be making school bag, everything. So if you want any copyright, or you want to go into mass production, then you can contact me, and then I'll give you the design, and we can talk about the money, because my designer is only 5 years old, but I have to pay him. I mean, he's done a wonderful job. So thank you very much from International Human Rights Commission, Africa Diaspora.
Thank you so much. That's lovely. And you can see we are part of this already. These are face caps sent to us. This man teaches for this. We were told that it's just a 5-year-old boy that designed this logo we are having here. So somehow he has started contributing to the development of the community. He has started contributing. So wherever and however, we must do likewise. So thank you so much. And concerning the book here just read, if we have to get this book, you can go to the link sent. We'll get it there. Then if we have to purchase it, buy whatsoever, the link is there. We can easily get that. We have more books from her. I know she will be updating us on that. I saw Dr. Pratiba raising up her hand. Meanwhile, there's a question for you from Ambassador Gemma Garcia from Italy. Are you ready to answer the question, or you have something to say? Please, over to you, please.
Yeah. Good evening once again to everyone. First of all, I would like to congratulate Yolanda and the entire team for such a beautiful work of whatever she has shown. Actually, I want to convey one message that I am a teacher trainer and I can give my service if at all anyone needs. I'm ready to train your teacher in your country because my curriculum is the international curriculum. We follow Cambridge curriculum. So if any teacher needs any kind of support, if any student need any kind of counseling or any kind of help, you can, James, you can write to me and anyone can contact you and you can contact me. I'm ready to give my service to any part of the country. So it will be my pleasure to help you in any form, whatever I can do from India. Definitely, it will be a great honor to me and to my country as well to serve you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love that. Oh, I'll surely get back to you on anything we think you can help us on, capable of, as far education. Then quickly, please, you have to answer this. It's a question from Ambassador Gemma Gashia from Italy. She said, this question goes to Dr. Pratibha. My question is regarding open access education. From your experiences with different geographical areas, how does compulsory education and quality education align in application of professional training? Is it direct related to government funding programs? That's a question.
Yes, yeah, it is directly related to government as well, because when we talk about compulsory education, so it goes for the entire nation, and entire nation will follow the policy which is being led by the government. So yes, it is the government's job to make a policy and to practice the policy, and to maintain that we have to form the resource bank or resource hub where the teachers will be trained, or with the mentors or the facilitators who are going to train the kids, or to who are going to talk about the education. They should be well qualified, well evaluated before hiring them, because we appoint at times the teacher, but the teacher herself is not very resourceful, or the teacher is not very knowledgeable. So it becomes very difficult, and the quality of the education goes very weak, and the base is weak, then you cannot do anything. So yes, the policy makers, the government, and the individual as well. So it is individual's duty to be working hand in hand with the government to have this kind of practice of primary quality education in the country. I hope I could answer your question. If I'm not wrong, yes. Thank you so much.
Let's unmute yourself and say something. Gashia, please unmute yourself and say something.
Hello. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it does answer my question, because open access, like, is still, as much as teachers are accessing resources that come from other levels, that can be like UN educational support, as you yourself offer, like, it's still, because it's backed up by government, and government has to prioritize academic reach for like secondary education. Sometimes, like, maybe professional programs suffer. So I was just kind of like, I can see, like, in your area of work, like, probably, like, if there is like equal access to both like professional and academic development, it's probably like an ideal situation. But when professional access programs like suffer for less funding, let's say like in times of crisis for pandemic, so having other means of channeling or providing workshops that may not be government funded but still open, I guess on the long term, or in the long term, like, it's always like lagging in terms of acquiring recognition, you know, like for open access, like, it's still an idea somehow, like, as much as teachers are proactive and are accessing resources that are online, coming from different areas of providing content. So it's still like the lack of alignment for recognizing programs that are open access and are not, let's say, government funding, like, it's still like, is detrimental for students to actually take the step when they have barriers. That's why I was asking for different geographical areas, but yeah, it makes sense. Like, at the end of the day, like, it's just for quality education, like, government has to actually like guarantee that there is like the quality provided and needed for students. So thank you.
Okay, that is a good one. I think with what she said, that shows they understand your answer to our question. So it's a good pleasure having you on board, Gashia from Italy.
And there is
so
like,
much. Ambassador
yeah, no, thank you for our presentation.
Please,
like,
will you go ahead, please? for the books. Ambassador Sulaiman, if you are there.
Suleiman, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Go ahead, please, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. As to maintain the SDG goal as education and peace, so as we do have a reference consultants with different specialty for the quality of the education and for the international teaching to the teacher, then we can plan for them to join in start as pandemic is still ongoing, like to be some workshops online, and then we have to ask any representative of some countries choose like a key personnel, and that key personnel will be conducted so to deliver the message. By this, we can participate in maintaining the high quality of the education. And as still, I need from the participants and contribution who would like also to contribute or to share in the books. Now we talk about education, so we hear the education. So what about the books? Hello?
We did not hear whether you had a question or if you had ended your statement.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you, but did you have a question?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, the question will be like, we have to highlight the priority for the needs as still the pandemic ongoing. So the support can be participated like some workshops online for the key personnel from each country that who to be like conducting with us to maintain the quality of the education. And we need to find out more networking regarding the contribution for the books and for the education as well.
Well, your voice was coming in and out. Perhaps you could type your question in the chat, but I'll turn it back over to you, Pastor James. And I'm here now to provide assistance and support.
I think it's even, okay, maybe that should be a bad network from him. All right. Yeah, concerning the book, we have just heard from Dr. Yewande. He is the author. We have 3 books that we brought out. She has written so many books, and we have just 3 books we brought out for this conference. And we have, the first one is key to successful leadership in healthcare services. Then the second one is economic evaluation of marketing for healthcare professionals. Then we have strategic management for global business leaders, year 3000. So this is a visionary book. Now, she had just read one to us, key to successful leadership in healthcare services. And she has more details in there. We are not just launching this book, we are launching it for fundraising purposes for humanitarian projects that has to be accomplished. Therefore, if any one of us wish to launch, to buy this book, we can just go to the link that Dr. Yewande is going to send, or she has already sent on this chart here. She has already sent a link where we can get the book. Then she's going to send a paper where the money can be paid into. So let's quickly do this. And if anyone is donating to other humanitarian projects we have just talked about, the educational project, so the floor is open for everyone to do the needful before we round up this program. So Ambassador Andrew, we are going to finalize everything before we close this program. So let's quickly do that. If we are promoting humanity, if we are promoting our projects, if we are supporting ourselves, so we have to do this. Buying this book, know for sure that you are contributing to community development. You are contributing to world humanitarian projects. So it's not just buying the book. So thank you so much as you are doing that. She's already dropping the website where you can get the books. Go to the chat now, you get that. And if you are to support us with anything, you can just drop it here on the chat for us to know what to do and how to follow you up there later. So let's just do that, please. So thank you so much. That Dr. Yewande, if you have anything to say, you say that now.
Thank you very much, sir. Sorry. Okay. Hello, can you hear me now, sir?
Loud and clear, we can hear you.
Yes, I was saying my personal assistant is in this meeting with me. Adedapo Adefise, so is he still here? I think he's left now. So what I wanted to say is I'm highly honored. You know, we just put this program together, let me say within the last 10 days, and you guys have really made me excited to keep, you know, doing the work because I can't do it all alone. I write. So my personal assistant, he's doing his master's in forensic accounting at the Montfort University in the UK. So I went out with him today. That's why I was running all over the place and coming for this meeting. He's going to be accompanying me so that I'm not, you know, doing everything. Some people just want to do it on their own. I'm training people. If he was here in this meeting, he's wearing a T-shirt that says Wendy Noren Medical Research. So when we are writing books, we are not just writing. When we are doing experiments, we want university students to be doing their experiments along with secondary school students. That's the true work. So the result of their experiments will be used to write laboratory manuals. Another collaborator I have is Dr. Thomas Tego. He's a lecturer at University of Ghana. He got his PhD in neuroscience at 26 years old. So this competition we are having is going to be myself, Wendy Noren Medical Research Institute, and himself, Ghana Scientific. And then we are going to have a robotics company called Arena, making 3 of us will be judges, and we're going to distribute them. I think Glenn is still here. We're going to distribute them, Space Mission to Glenn, and Rivers of Africa to Zimiso in Singo. Zimiso is from Zimbabwe and is a UK resident. Miss Zim, are you still here? Yeah, I think he's got. So Zim has almost 20 years experience in mental health settings. I mean, taking care of the same person for over 10 years and it's still your patient, still living in the same house. You know what that means. It's even depressing for the person taking care. So we have long-term care. We are complaining of this, that what are people who are in long-term care, you know, you, the person looking after them, maybe you're the manager and you can't leave that place. I can't imagine, you know, but I've been in that situation before. So that's why I understood. So when we have mental health units and people in prison, I mean, it's almost the same thing, honestly. So that's why we're having Zim going to manage Rivers of Africa and Glenn going to do Space Mission. So they can focus on people who are in confined spaces for initial. They, of course, they can't be in the movie and you see their faces, but they'll benefit from the projects by reading science magazine written by scientists. And we're also putting forward that any science fiction movie from henceforth should have a panelist of scientists that review the movie, because these teenagers are watching a lot. When I went to a science fiction competition, they were asking me what happened in Star Wars. And I was like, I'm talking about neuroscience. You're telling me Star Wars and Spider-Man. And that's what they believe, that's the science. So I was supposed to represent British Pharmacological Society at Parliament, but we had COVID coming. So I'm just trying to put all my proposals together and hopefully when the teachers and students have their day tomorrow, and it's like we are going on tour, but we are not traveling. So that's why I want you to come up with questions. Let me know everything that you need, and then I can put all these proposals together and, you know, table it at Healthcare Congress and Education Congress as well. Thank you, everyone, and over to Chaplain. I'm really happy how this event came, and hopefully next time we'll be more prepared. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. And we have just got to the end of this program. We just have to say thank you again for everyone that have just joined us here and that has already participated in this program. In this conference hall here, we have several people sitting down here, joining us in this program too. And moreover, Mr. Johnson E. I don't know who he is, but he's here with us. Please, can you just say hi? Can we hear you before we call it a day? Because we have not, you are the only person we have not heard from.
Hi, hello, good evening.
Good evening. Where are you joining us from?
Yeah, Lagos, Nigeria.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you so much for joining us in this program. I know.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we are proceeding further in this program. Tomorrow, by the special grace of God, which is the second day of this program, because it is just 3 days program. Tomorrow we'll be having children on board with different kind of professional attires, and like doctors, like teachers, lawyers, children, wherever they are. If you have your children at home, just dress them in any regalia, professional attire they might put on. And there will be some questions for them. Anyone that gets it where I think Dr. Oyeneku has not just gifts, I think she should prepare scholarship for them. Maybe they will go and join our United Kingdom. So let's prepare that for tomorrow. And we have Ambassador Gletsuna tomorrow too, is coming on board. Then Mr. Dako Adefise is also coming tomorrow. Mr. Akpata coming tomorrow. Oluwatoyin Joseph also coming tomorrow. Dr. Thomas coming tomorrow too. And we have some of them that are coming tomorrow that are going to join us here tomorrow. It's going to be a wonderful edition again tomorrow. Do not miss tomorrow because it is another glorious day with different kind of program and more entertaining programs tomorrow. So thank you for joining us. Ambassador Andrew, I will hand over to you to round off to this program.
Well, thank you so much. And all I'm going to do is invite everyone to join us tomorrow. Thank you so much and have a fantastic day.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. It is wonderful here from Nigeria, Lagos State, World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. It is a pleasure to have you all on board in this program. The theme of this program is achieving sustainable development goals through peace education. And that's why we have really dealt with quality education today. So it's our 3-day Martin Luther King Jr. public lecture book launching conference. So thank you so much for joining us. India, from UK, US, Nigeria, Sudan, Italy, and other parts of the world. Thank you. I remain Ambassador James Mercy Obatumevi, the Chief Executive Officer of World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity. So good day. It's a great pleasure having you. We'll see you again tomorrow by the special grace of God. Thank you.
Thank you all.